Yes. University Church. Universal, that's way. Uh-huh. Oh, upstairs. Ah, okay. So, yeah, this scriptures you're writing, you have to ask these questions because I would encourage you that to come out from these places. Because all of these places were, these are man-made religions, right? I have, watching this right there. I'm going to read here in the blue, showing you that all these different denominations were created by our oppressors, right? Our oppressors cannot teach us the Bible. The same people that had us in slavery would not teach us how to get out of slavery. They are called our oppressors, right? So you would read some of these here. Just to show you that all these churches are man-made churches, right? God gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. Never gave us religion, right? So all these religions, Seventh-day Pentecostal, whatever, these we're going to read in also in Matthew, showing that the Bible warns us of being deceived. So read these nations here. Read these different denominations.
Man-made religion. John Smith created the Baptist religion.
So he said John Smith created the Baptist religion. All these, what you would realize, give the year also, right?
In 1608.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what you would realize by when the brother read these different denominations, you would see that all of them was created around slavery. We were in slavery when all these religions was created.
That's right.
This was never from the beginning. These are all man-made religions that was created while we in slavery. We were forced to worship this image. We were forced to follow these different denominations. Read.
Charles Parham created the Pentecostal religion in 1901. Joseph Smith created the Mormon religion in 1830. Charles Taze Russell created the Jehovah's Witness religion in 1872. William Miller created the Seventh-day Adventist religion in 1863.
That's it? You got all of these, or you? Right? So it's showing you that these are man-made religions. These are our oppressors, the same people that had us in slavery, right? These are the same people you're watching on this sign, selling our people. Auction slave block. These are white men bidding for our children right here. You have the young man stand up here. They doing an examination of this young man right here. Our folk right here. We were forced here. The enemies came with a sword in one hand and the Bible in the next hand, forcing us to follow these other religions. These religions today, we go and worship so easily. But we were forced to worship these other religions, right? But today, we take it as a pride, and we go worship on Sundays and take pleasure in that. You understand? So these are questions you have to ask whosoever in these churches, so-called pastors, and I say so-called pastors because they are not true pastors, right? We would read some scripture showing you the difference between a true pastor and a false prophet, right? Put on the sign now, right? So give me that in Matthew, right? Showing that you have to be careful today, right? Now you're getting the understanding. You have to keep reading. You have to ask questions to these men, right? And eventually you have to move from these places because Christianity is worse than crack. You know, it only put you to death. There's nothing good could come out from Christianity. I'm telling you straight. All of us here, or the vast majority of us here, was at some point in time in these places. Right? We asked questions and realized it was never in alignment with the Bible. So we had to move. You understand? We have to make changes in our life. Because this would bring us to death. Right? Read what you have. Matthew 24 and I think 4. Right.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
So he said, take heed that no man deceive you. In order for you not to be deceived, you must have an idea of what you're reading. You must have an idea of where you're going. So he said, be not be deceived. Read.
For many shall come in my name.
Right. He said, many shall come in my name. Many would come using the Bible saying this is Christ. Right. The many, these are the same Seventh-day Pentecostal Baptists. Whatever religion, they come saying this is Christ. Even though when you ask them about the true image, they say color doesn't matter. Right. But it does matter because this image is what teaches us to worship on Sunday. This image teaches us that, okay, we could celebrate Christmas because there is nowhere in the Bible we could read where God commands us to celebrate Christmas. But the people who go to these churches, they celebrate Christmas, they celebrate birthdays, the Sabbath is on Sunday. They say you could worship any day, right? So he says that many would come in my name saying this is Christ. These are the different religions. Read.
Saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And shall deceive many. Right? So if you don't know the true image of Christ, what is required of the Israelites in the Bible, it means that you're going to be deceived. So someone would walk up to you and tell you, listen, don't bother with these men. You could worship on any day. And these are the things Christianity teaches our people. You understand? As long as you're serving God, you just have to pray to God. These are just vain words. You know, just to deceive you, just to make you feel good. But in the Bible, God commands us what we should do. So for you not to be deceived, it is important. Just like you're doing, write the scriptures, go home, read it, and ask questions. Right? Read. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound.
Right. So he said many false prophets shall arise. Because like when we are out here today, right, since most of our people never accustomed to this teaching, they would say, these men out there are the false prophets, because the Bible says false prophets shall arise. You understand? Because I'm sure if you go to your Christian, your so-called pastors, and you tell them about these men teaching the Bible, they would say, these are false prophets. That's the first thing they want to say. These men out there are false prophets. Right? The Bible speaks about them. But the true prophets of the Most High always prophesy against the other nations. The true prophets always teach you to keep God's laws. Are they telling you, or are they showing you in the churches that we have to keep God's laws? Do they teach that in this church that we have to keep God's laws? No, right? But when you read the Bible, the prophets always teach our people to keep God's laws. So that's how you know, that's one of the ways you know the true prophet from a false prophet. The prophets in the Bible always teach about keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. These so-called pastors say God's laws are done away with. You understand? So they're saying that Christ died for you so you could do what you want. This is not written in the Bible. No way you could read that. Read. Verse 24.
For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders.
You have some of these so-called pastors today who say they're praying for people and doing miracles and so on. Some of our people are going to be deceived by these things, feeling that, okay, these men doing miracles, they're doing some form of miracle. But this is sorcery according to the Bible, witchcraft, divination, right? These pastors who say they're praying for people and creating miracles and so on. Ask them to pray for themselves when they're sick and see if they could heal themselves. Ask them. But they're always there to tell you that, okay, they're this prophet that could pray for you and could do many miracles. But they can't, when they're sick or their family sick, they cannot pray to heal them. Right? But they tell us, they project for us. Right? Read Galatians 1:6 down. Right? So I had to show you, my sister, about the Sabbath day because you've been here long. So let me show you the scriptures before we go further into that. Right? Showing the Sabbath day. Exodus 20. The Sabbath day. And we're going to read some scriptures for you, also showing you no buying on the Sabbath day, no selling on the Sabbath day, no cooking. You have to prepare the Friday evening before sundown. You prepare all your stuff and you prepare for the Sabbath day. Right? Read Exodus 20. 8.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Right? So the Lord said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. There was going to be some point in time that we are going to forget the Sabbath day. Hence the reason why he said, remember the Sabbath day. But remember, this is the time of Moses, thousands of years before. Right? And he said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Because there was going to be a time that we were going to be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We would lose our heritage or our nationality, forget who we are, have no clue of we being Israelites and we keeping God's laws. So now he's telling you, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Holy means separate, right? Read.
6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work.
So he said, 6 days shall you labor, do labor and all your work. So the Most High give us 6 days to labor. Right? Read.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. The 7th day is the Sabbath day, which is today. Even though you go on your calendar and you look up, you would see the first day of the week being Sunday. Right? So the Most High commands us to keep the Sabbath day holy. In the time of Christ, Christ was keeping the Sabbath. They were using the same Gregorian calendar as we're using today. So from Christ's time, keeping the Sabbath, because Christ kept the Sabbath, give me that in Luke 4:16, showing you that Christ kept the Sabbath. Because all people say we're following after Christ. So if we're following after Christ, Christ did keep the Sabbath day. Let's read in the Bible and see if Christ kept the Sabbath day. Read.
The book of Luke, chapter 4 and verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day.
Right, this is Christ, right? Read it over again for the sister. This is about Christ right here. Read.
The book of Luke, chapter 4 and verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was...
As his custom was, so it means that every Sabbath, this is what his regular routine would be, his custom. Read.
He went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read.
Right, and stood up to read. This is speaking about Christ. So Christ kept the Sabbath, right? And that was in the same time period as us today. So it means that the Sabbath never changed. It's the same thing. The 7th day is the Sabbath, right? Give me 35. No cooking, and then you give me in Nehemiah with no buying and selling.
Read out! The 16 and verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and sit that ye will sit, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to keep until the morning.
Right? So he's showing you here that you're preparing all your stuff before, right? Some of the things that you make, you can put it in the fridge. The next day you take it off and you use it, right? So he said no cooking on that day. So no boiling of water to cook anything on the Sabbath day, right? We all practice that here. No tea, no hot tea on that day, right? Because no lighting of fire. So you prepare all the stuff the day before, right? Read. Yeah.
The book of Exodus, chapter 35 and verse 2. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death.
Right, so any work shall be put to death. Give me that in Nehemiah 10, showing no buying and selling on the Sabbath day also. Right? So on the Sabbath day, like what you see taking place here, no buying and selling on that day. Read. Nehemiah chapter 10.
The book of Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath day or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year beyond the exaction of every debt.
Right? So you have the other nations just come to us, right? In the Nehemiah chapter 10
and verse 31.
And verse 31. Right? Showing no buying and no selling. Right? The other nations you see, like the Indians come around in your community to sell, they know better. On that day, no buying. We ain't buying anything, neither we selling on this day. Right? Right, congregate. So we have to congregate also on the Sabbath day. It's a thing that brothers and sisters come together and we congregate. So these are laws you have to move, right? Listen to this last two before you leave, right? Read.
The book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. And holy convocation, ye shall do no work therein.
Right, so he said it's a holy convocation, it's a holy gathering. So our brothers and sisters is at the school today. We out here bringing out the word, we on camp, but we go back to the school when we finish here. So it's a day where we congregate. All the brothers and sisters, the rest of the sisters is at the school, right? So, you know, I hope that you glean something from this, and you give me Romans 12. Give me, and hold that and give me Philemon 1 and 14, I think. Right, showing that it is important that we get our mind right. Because the Bible says, without our mind, we can't do anything. So it is very important that we get our minds right. So we're going to read these two scriptures for you before you leave, sister. Philemon 1 and 14, and then you give me Romans 12 and 2. Right?
Philemon 1 and 14?
Yeah.
The book of Philemon, chapter 1 and verse 14. But without thy mind would I do nothing.
Right? He said, without thy mind, you can't do anything. So the mind is very important. The so-called white man, they try to brainwash us today by giving us all these different religions and so on. It's to brainwash us. Sorry you cannot stay because I have something to read in what you call the Willie Lynch. Right? To show how the so-called white man destroyed our black women and black men.
Read it out.
The Willie Lynch letter. But read what you have.
Philemon chapter 1 and verse 14. But without thy mind would I do nothing.
Right? Without thy mind you cannot do anything. So you have to get your minds right. Give me that in Romans 12 and then we could let the sister live. Right?
The book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God.
We say about transform. Be transformed.
Right, so verse 2. Verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
So he said, be not conformed to this world. The ways of this world, like how the world live, they do everything contrary to what God said. Right? They congregate on the Sunday, they sell, they on the Sabbath day, they hold birthdays, they celebrate Christmas. We have to come out of the ways of the world. Right? So he said, be not conformed to this world,
but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
But you have to change by the renewing of your mind. Know that you know better, you do better. Because prior to that, you not knowing that you are an Israelite and what is required of you, you are walking in the ways of the world. But now you know better, you have to do better. So you do it. That's how you do it, by you getting your mind right based on what God said.
To scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. I.U.I.C has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone, 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. I.U.I.C, we deliver the truth.